part of the Melanated Music Group, the Karaoke Barbecue, where I support Sack Black and Alvina and some of the other ones, Silver Fox. Right now I'm supporter. I tend to look at people that are consistent on fan base, and that's kind of how I've been moving on the app. I like to support people, give them a reason to open a room again. If I can come in and support them and show them why they should show up every day or every week or every month, that's what I'm doing. So I don't do onboarding as much, like a time frame. Right now, I concentrate on people that come to me like one on one. So I do have like troubleshooting, onboarding type of things that go on behind the scenes, but I don't do it the normal way that I used to in a public room, because I found that people, they're kind of shy. Most of the time when they come in the room, they just want to be at the bottom and listen. And so if they don't come and talk and share, then it's kind of a mute point for them, to have an onboarding. So I'm centered around, yeah, I can do onboarding. I still have my space, but you come to me. If you really serious about what you want to do on Fanbase, then you'll come to me and let me know, hey, I need XYZ. And then I'll be there for you. But I'm in the position now, I've done it for 3 years. Now it's time, a quiet mouth, closed mouth, we know don't get fed. So if you need help and you're serious about hosting a room, then come to me and I'll be there to help you. I'll be there to cheer you along, if that makes sense. So other than that, I'm not really doing anything else on Fanbase. People have kind of know who I am, what I do. I've been on the app for 4 years. It'll be 4 years in November. So other than that, I'm just a supporter at this time. I'm an investor, of course. I'm a fan ambassador, whatever that means. But I do look for some great opportunities coming on Fanbase. We did get a newsletter stating that there's going to be some enhancements to the app. People have heard that a lot, but I do feel that this is going to be something that's going to happen in the near future. So those that know. Fanbase has made an announcement on LinkedIn, on some other socials, to say the wait is almost over. So I look for 30 days. We may not even know the old fan base anymore. So I'm really looking forward to that for sure.
Thank you. And I know you've been on here for a long time. You've been on here for a while and you've seen a lot of people come, a lot of people go, and you've been a part of many of the groups here. What has changed? Has something changed to make you, or have you just kind of outgrown your position here on fan base?
When you say groups, specifically like maybe co-op was one of the first groups with Un and Tannen that I was a part of. And yeah, I feel like I was in, and just being honest, I felt like I was in a cult. You know what I mean? I saw things that I didn't approve of. There was no code of conduct, there was no terms, nothing like that was established when I joined them. I hadn't even met the founder, who's Tannen, so I had no idea what to expect. But I later learned a lot of things, and I'm one to say when I see things aren't right, hey, I still got the private stock. Whenever they decide to sell, I'll be the one cashing in. But other than that, yeah, I'm no longer a part of that. As far as Royals United, yeah, same thing. That's the thing. We get these groups that we become a part of trying to support, and then you get inside and you see the mess. We have a lot of work to do with ourselves. We need to fix ourselves. For how we gonna form a community and a group and we jealous of the other person, or we hating on their skills, or we got to get out of that, you know? So when I see things like that happening, I don't want to be a part of that. Y'all get yourself together first. When y'all get yourself together first, then hey, maybe we can try this again. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things too. I've even thought about one of the next projects I'm working on is a leadership development summit, and but it's very hard to speak with people because we creatives, apparently, because we have a lot of creatives right here in on this app, right? That they're creative in their own right, in their own lane, and what they do. Um, but yeah, I think that, having conversations around leadership development, like changing the narrative has done, it gives you a time to really look at self first,
I
and
hear
then
a
being
lot of
able to.
extra, like, and I'm hearing a lot of extra names being shared. Excuse me for being, if I was rude, I apologize, but I want to stop there because I still want to get back into Rejoice. I wasn't done with Rejoice, but I'm hearing a lot of names that's being shouted out and called out. I don't know what the reason is because they're not here. They're not here for the conversation. So just for the conversation, I would like to just kind of reserve those people that aren't here, that are not involving themselves in the conversation. So I just want to put that out there moving forward. They don't seem interested in this conversation. So I would, like to keep them out of the conversation. And going back to Joyce, was that the only two groups that you were a part of?
Yeah, those were the only two legal groups that I was a part of. Of course, the Fanbassador group, that's with Fanbase. But other than that, those were the two that actually had LLCs. Can I say that? That I was a part of.
Right. Now I notice I see you every week, week after week after week after week after god darn week on Karaoke Barbecue and Melanated Music Group. What is your roles with those two organizations? They are businesses, it is an organization. What's your role with Melanated Music Group and Karaoke Barbecue?
I'm a supporter, and that's it. As I mentioned, I see people have these rooms. I can't really bring people to fan base if there's nothing else going on fan base. So I will be the one to shout out the people that have those rooms so that I can say, hey, come to karaoke barbecue on Friday. So, and I'm biased because for Melanated Music Group, I was with them in formation. I'm really big on startups. I love supporting startups. I worked for several startups in my life. So I'm really biased against startups. I feel like they don't always succeed because of things that I just mentioned earlier. So I like to see success, especially, definitely, especially with the Black melanated startup groups. So you'll always see me support them. Yeah. So I'm definitely a big supporter of karaoke barbecue. I remember when Stack Black's episode number one, with the karaoke barbecue, and I was there at the beginning, and it's episode 77 this week. So consistency is definitely winning, and it will. People will see it. So as far as that goes, I'm a big supporter. And then with Melanated Music Group, well, I'm actually a digital creator, I like to call it. And so I have my music on there. We get paid. Cha-ching. And I don't think I've been in a space where I've gotten paid for creating music the way in the manner that I do. So I think that's amazing. So I'm definitely going to always shout out Melanated Music Group.
Yeah, thank you, Rejoice. Thank you, Sherry,
And let
as
me
well.
just say real quick that I apologize if I brought up, some things or some other people, and I think that definitely speaks totally to my character, right? Because I will shout out other people before I even shout out myself, right? I will support other people even before I shout out myself. So that's very much just totally me, right? I'll speak well and more about Queen and Black um, voices of radio, right? And it's a movement before I even bring up Keon Works. I'll talk about Melanated Music Group and how, hey, y'all, guess what? I'm a digital creator on there too. Hello. But I will talk about everyone else, right? Before I even talk about myself. In rooms prior, in rooms, conversations, I used to bring up Sankofa intent before I would even say anything about me, right? So I think that's just very much my character.
No, I know that it is very much your character as well as mine. But we're more focused on the conversation here today, moving forward. And like I said, those that has not shown an interest, towards this conversation, it's not really, we're not here really for, a shout out party. It's not, for that. It's for the conversation. So, you do the same thing I do. I'm the same way, Sherry. I'll shout out because that's what I do. I'm a promoter. And you did have a time to do that. So that's all I was saying, moving forward so that we can, go on to other people, hear other people's experiences on the app, where they are moving forward with the app and those things. That's all a part of this conversation. No shade to anyone else, but they didn't show an interest to this conversation. So we would like to move forward. So yeah. We have up next Philo, we have Alvina, and we also have Black Casper in the room. We basically still going on the empowerment, how we are going, or what we see empowerment to be. Basically on this app, as we've grown a community, a family here on the app. So we're getting into a little bit of accountability because we've seen a lot of things, we've heard a lot of things, we've shared a lot of moments here on the app, together. So we want to just, kind of hold each other accountable. Rejoice spoke on, just why, she feels why things have changed for her over here on fan base, and so has Sherry. They both came in with, one spirit, and now they're speaking as if, I just can't put too much more energy into this app, or the same energy, because they both came in, just rooting for the app. So that's kind of where I'm getting to, is like, where are we going from here? What is next? What can we do? What are some solutions moving forward so that we can move together as a unit moving forward, whether it's here on Fanbase or outside of Fanbase? I would like to see more action and less talk being done. A lot of people come on here and say they're activists, and their community this and their community that, but we ain't saying nothing. Talk is cheap in my world. You know what I'm saying? So, we can talk all day long about what we're doing, but if there's no action being done, then what are we doing here? We just pulling up every week just to talk? What is it?
Are you asking a question, or you doing the dialogue
I'm doing a
or your
dialogue
monologue?
right now, and I'm getting to my next question with Philo. So give me a second, please. So yeah, like I said, Manus, the purpose for being here, overall, is where do we go from here? What is next for us? So we're trying to get to know a little bit about where everybody's mindsets are. Like, are we even in alignment here? you know why are we here?
No,
So moving forward, we have Philo in the room, and we have Alvina here for Melanated Music Group. So we would like to hear, what Philo's, what it is that he does here on Fanbase, what he utilizes the app for, what does he see as community, the same questions that I've asked everyone else, and he has sat here and listened. So Philo, if you'd like to chime in, you are up next. And then we have Alvina and Black Casper to chime in.
Philo?
Maybe he's busy. I don't know. Alvina, would you like to go next? Black Hasper, would you like to chime in?
Sure. So I started on the app not knowing, being new to social audio. So in the beginning, I kind of just wanted to have provoking conversations with people and see how their state of mind as far as the election, mental health, social issues, and things like that, and how we can come together to solve those problems. Now, that didn't go well, so ended up removing myself from the public spaces, and through that became the birth of us starting to create music, Joyce and Sherry included in that. And from that we ended up Sack Black had the idea of us coming up with a melanated music group. So we're like, okay, he was on us. So we finally got it together, took a break, came back together, put a business plan, mission plan together, because there was a lot more of us, but again, we couldn't get along, so we had to stay on focus. And some of us knew what the main, like, without putting in, I think some of us just wanted it more badly, and we're like, well, I'm going to work on this, let's work on that, let's see how to get this. In the meantime, we weren't going to ever stop. Some people said, okay, it's done, we're going to stop. Others said, it's done, but I'm still going to continue to work on what I need to work on so that we can we're not another failed group on here. We're Black people. Something has to come out of it. So we did that, and now we have melanated music, and we are growing. Now, that's not to say that we always agree 100% with each other or that everything is peaches and cream, but we do look at the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture? Let's put our egos to the side. Let's talk about what is best for the group and not just what one person thinks or another person thinks, but what is going to, at the end of the day, grow the platform. How are we going to make connections? I had an idea way back about partnering and doing street teams and doing other stuff. So sometimes they're like, calm down, because I'm like far ahead, because I used to be around, well, 20 years ago, but I'm sure things haven't changed that much. But I used to be around entertainers in the industry. So sometimes my vision is far ahead. So I have to I've realized my role in having to lay things on little by little instead of throwing everything out there at once. So little bit of accountability on my part is that I did have to learn that there's some people that are new and you have to be patient. They cannot see a lot of things because we're all coming from different worlds. You have some people that are good at marketing. You have some people that are just social people. You have other people that are good at paperwork and behind the scenes. So once you learn your role, and we did, I encouraged everybody, and I still encourage everybody to take I think it's called Meyer Bricks, and there's a couple other ones, but I encourage people to take those tests when they start a business, just so they can know where they fall in line with leadership and with roles and your strengths and your weakness. And not only does it tell you like if you're a leader or not a leader or how far on the spectrum you are, but it gives you tips. And you can take that test like once. I took it 3 years ago, 2023. So yeah, 3 years ago when I was doing something for our NGO. And I took it again this time and I got a different, because I've grown. So it's changed. My knowledge has changed. If I take it 10 years from now after building melanated music, I'm sure certain aspects of it is going to change. So I'll end with that. Melanated Music is an entertainment platform, and it is open to everybody, whether you're a traditional artist, whether you're a new artist, or you're a digital creator. We market, we help you market, we give you the tools to market, to promote yourself with the QR codes. And then we also do like DJing for you, which I think as soon as I get a new laptop and a mixer and stuff, I'm going to start doing my own days of plugging into InStream and also having my days on Twitch where I do things on Twitch, on TikTok, etc. Once I've built up my platform, but that's going to take some time. So my mind is just all over the place right now because I'm a creator and I'm also a business partner. So I'll land with that. But that's a little bit about Melanated Music. You can put your music on there. They pay the first week and the third week of the month. We don't just partner with everybody. It has to make sense.
It has to make sense. Make it make sense and be the change you want to see. And I want to say that everyone in this room I have seen made a change, a drastic change in their own rights on this app. And that's why, you're here in this room today, in this space, celebrating yourself, patting yourselves on the back. That's why we're bringing the community together in a way. This is through Sankofa intent. Okay. And that was one of the things that, and I'm not going to speak long. I'm going to let Black Casper talk. If Philo wants to talk, I'm going to allow Philo the space. And then we're going to go back to Manus, because Manus, came onto the app about a year and a half ago, with the Sankofa intent. And he was very consistent every week. Manus, Paradise, and John for a year, a little over a year, with bringing the community together. So that was the first example that I saw coming onto the app of bringing the community together. However, like I'm hearing from Joyce and also from Sherry, there's been, other groups here that pretty much kind of trickled down and, it hasn't been successful. So I was also proud to hear Alvina come and share at least one success story so far that I know to be true. Another very consistent group was the Karaoke Barbecue that has done very well over here and brought the community together. So I definitely want to shout out Sac Black, Melanated Music Group, and the Karaoke Barbecue, because I thought I know he has done very well with bringing the community together, as well as Manus. Manus brought Sankofa intent to the platform, and I saw a lot of people, everyone pretty much on this app, gravitate toward that room. Everyone has learned from that room. Everyone has added to that room. That's another community that has been built, on the backs of us here. At the end of the day, we're all here on this platform. Some of us investors into who was Isaac Hayes. So we're all on the backs of his father, to be honest. So, it's about paying homage where homage is due. And Sankofa intent definitely came over with the intent to bring the people together in unity and has been very successful with it. And I witnessed it myself. So I am a big supporter of Sankofa intent. However, we all have seen, it kind of trickle down just like the others, so this is why we're here today with the Melanin Power talks that was also created by Manus for Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern time, again, to bring the community together for conversations on how we can first get to know one another, get along with one another here on the platforms, and move forward towards building our communities outside of social media, if possible. I see those eyes, Harry, and that means I'm getting long-winded. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass this torch
No,
on.
it don't. Mm-mm. No, that's not what that meant. Mm-mm.
I'm gonna pass it on over to Black Casper. If Philo is available, we'll go into Philo, and then we'll go ahead and let Manis finish it off. We are at our 2:38 time
Can I
frame.
piggyback
Hold
off
on,
of something you said?
hold on, Alvina. Give me a second. Give me a second, sweetie. And we're planning to close this talk out live by 3 o'clock. So I want to make sure that everyone in this room gets heard before we close the room out. So I want to go ahead and pass the mic on. No, I'll let you go ahead and finish out, Alvina, because you were the last one speaking, and then we'll move forward.
So I wanted to piggyback off of what you said because you said something important, and that's building off the app. I think a lot of people get so stuck in trying to gather all the people on the app. And one thing we noticed is, okay, we have this thing that we're doing, but a lot of people also try to do what we're doing, and they are turning out not to be as successful because you can have the idea, but you can't just try to do it because you want to outdo somebody on the app. It has to be first something that you're passionate about, something that you research about. You have to make sure you have all the paperwork in order. So when you talk about building off the app, I just wanted to highlight that, and that's it. Not just on the app and off the app as well. But that was a great thing you stated, so I wanted to highlight that.
Thank you, Alvina. Thank you, Alvina. What should we be looking for next for Alvina? What's the next project that you're working on?
Um, I'm working on a few different things. I'm getting back into my writing, so you'll see me start writing. Right now, I have a lot in my mind, so I cannot boggle myself to like write things because I'm constantly looking at the news, seeing if the travel ban is off, communicating with the Lord. So I have a lot, and then I have 2MG here. Like, can you research this grant? Can you like contact this person? Can you set up this meeting? So, for Alvina, I think next year, come back to me in 2027, and then I'll let you know. I definitely have some things that I plan to do next that is going to be aside from 2MG. Some of it's going to do merch related to Queen Sasha. Some of it is going to be empowerment books. Some of it is going to be a lifestyle type of thing that I'm going to do. I don't want to get put too much out there, but that's what's next for me. But I'll be working on that as well with my husband, so it'll be a lot easier to know that he's here and I don't have to worry about all the stuff that I'm worrying about now.
So outside of social media, have you ever been engaged or civically engaged, or what have you done in your community? Have you ever done anything in your community outside of social media?
Sure. So my sister, she's a lawyer and she's an activist lawyer. She lives in Washington D.C. So like the Black Lives Matter protest, that was during the time she was at Georgetown. She was an organizer for that. She also up here did the um what was it, it was the women's protest up here. I can't remember. It was I don't want to say vagina, but it was something like that protest. My sister and my other sister and I went out to support her in that. So we support her in the things that she does. Um, I have always been pro like helping people at food banks, and I grew up with my aunt that always did like feed a friend on Thursdays. So that's something that I continue to do. I lived in a women's when I was 18 and I was pregnant with my son. I decided I didn't want to get married at that early age, so I went into a Catholic program and I stayed there. It was dormitory. I had a safe place to live. It wasn't like a shelter. It was like a shelter, but it wasn't. So it was like a safe shelter, I'll say, more like a dorm. So, got to go grocery shopping, got to go to school, still got to go to school, still worked on the side, still did hair on the side. They kind of had us do child classes while you were pregnant. So it taught me how to go into the world as a parent. And after I left, I ended up giving back. A friend of mine that I keep in touch, we want to open something similar, but it's just a matter of I don't want to do it in Philadelphia, first of all. So that's one thing, but that's something that I look at in the far future if I'm still here because it's a Catholic, it's from the Catholic Charities, so they get money from that to do that type of program. But writing grants is not my forte. I've read a lot of grants because I dealt with it as a loan officer. I've dealt with it working in the grants department at NIST. But it's just not my forte. I can't. It's too much. Sherry knows there's a lot that goes into grants, so I just don't have the patience for it. But once I'm able, or maybe I'll pay Sherry to do it. Maybe I'll pay Sherry to do it. She seems to love to do it. She's into stuff like that. So maybe I'll get Sherry to do it. Or my mother, she worked at grants administration. Well, she's old. She's retired. So I'll ask Sherry to do it.
Right.
So, or I'll pay her to do it. So that's my passion would be like just women in general, empowering women, the next generation of women, and letting them know that they can be business owners and not just consumers.
Thank
That
you.
was very long winded. I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's okay. Black Casper, if you have anything you'd like to share, we'd like to know what some of your thoughts are about the conversation for starters, because I know that you are new to fan base, or at least, to most people in the room, you are very new. So if you have anything you'd like to share or add to the conversation, please feel free. Also, Philo, if you are chiming in, um, feel free to come off the mic.
Well, I was listening to what everybody was saying, and good evening to everybody. Good afternoon. But my main thing with listening is not that I have anything particular to say. It's just when you hear these type of conversations, they're good to have, but what I don't end up hearing at the end is a solution. What is the solution? Um, and when you have these type of conversations, if there's no solution, then you're just talking. So hopefully there'll be a solution to where you all will start building, meeting frequently, getting outside to do XYZ, and then to share it with fan base. If fan base will be that platform to share these things with, this is what we're doing. And to me, that falls under what you all were saying at the beginning of the conversation. It falls under accountability. You're now being holding yourselves accountable to say, okay, we're going to come together to do X, Y, Z. And then you come together, you execute it. And then after execution, you share it. And so that's what I'm listening to. I'm of able mind, of sound body to be able to lend my expertise in whatever way I need to. But just listening to the conversation, it's a conversation that needs to be had, that should be had, but hopefully there's a solution at the end of it.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Thank you, Philo, for chiming in. I'm definitely for the solutions. And as I said, I wouldn't have taken the time out to even create the space and if I didn't believe that there could be a solution. You know, I've seen it grow just in the last couple weeks. You know, it has changed some mindsets. So I appreciate everyone, you know, for coming in and chiming in today. I'm looking forward to moving forward with the Melanin Power conversations in the future. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this mic on over to Manis, because I'd like to know, Manis, you know, after everything you've heard under the empowerment and accountability discussion today, under the melanated or melanin power conversation, you know, what's your thoughts on, you know, the conversation and moving forward, how we should move forward with solutions, because that will be the
Before
next
I get to the
topic,
solution,
solutions.
before I get to the solution here, and we have broke it down that my people just fail to understand. We need a memorandum of understanding. I'm talking about those who, well, I'm gonna say leadership or those or community activists or whatever, or who are concerned about the community. You need a memorandum of understanding. Why? I mean, mm, okay, you need a memorandum of understanding. That way, you'll know what direction you're going. You can put strategy together.
So I
You
know
put the
that.
things in place.
Excuse me, man, and
Okay.
just for 1 second, because I know that Sherry did create a memorandum of understanding for the this specific talk. Did you get a chance to read over that?
That ain't come from. I hate to say that ain't come from Sharon.
Oh,
That
I
come
can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you either.
okay. Mm. Well,
You sound
we're gonna
muffled.
have a hard time. We're gonna have a hard time doing anything in our community till we stop being selective.
We're not gonna be. We don't hear you. It's kind of messed up.
But you can hear me? Oh,
No, you sound either far away or muffled.
okay, okay. Can you hear me now? Hello?
So it seems like Manis is having some
Yeah, I
complications.
heard you just now. Manus? Well, thank you for having this talk, Queen. I appreciate the space.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I did too. And I appreciate all of you coming in and engaging, you know, and sharing. Sherry, did you have something else you wanted to say before we close it out? We have like another 10 minutes before we shut it down. Hopefully we can get Manis back um, to close us out. Um,
I did want to apologize for being late. I had family in town and then they just left. There's a lot going on.
Manus, when you're ready, Manus, just speak up. Let me know because we wanted to hear you. So whenever you're ready, okay?
And you are on mute, by the way, Manus, in case you didn't know.
No, well, I'll just end with yeah, I'm all about action. getting things done, solutions. So if I would leave with anything, of course we're all connected here. But if you are working on something and you need any help with maybe creating the plan, creating the strategy. I don't care what it is. And I'm gonna be honest, if it's in writing a book, my rooms on Saturdays were around writing. So in writing, um, let me know, right? Um, I have been and do and currently doing. I'm a speaker, and so I've been a professional speaker for maybe about 20, 25 years. And so what I would do outside of here also is that I teach people how to find their speaking style, and I teach people how to tell their story, especially those of us that have had traumas in our life, similar to like maybe domestic violence, sexual abuse. I teach people how to literally tell their story so that they're not leaving people in the basement. Okay. It's very important when you're telling your story and you're going on talk shows and panel interviews that you know how to tell your story so that you're not traumatizing and re-triggering your audience. So that's a little bit of what I do. Of course, you all know that I'm all about self-care and motivation. So I have adult coloring books, and I recently started doing 300 and 500 piece puzzles, and I actually create these puzzles myself. And so yeah, this is I do a lot, and a lot will be announced later. So make sure you stay connected to Queen, because she is definitely one of my biggest cheerleaders, and you see how she got on me earlier. And so I will be doing my full rebranded launch on Voices of Radio coming up soon, and I'm looking forward to that. And when it comes to community, um, I guess you'll have to stay tuned because I'm also working on with Voices of Radio on that launch and announcement as well. And of course by that time, when I'm ready to launch, I will, because fan base, y'all are I feel like we're like family. I've been here for almost 3 years now, so I really feel like we're a family. And is it 3 years, Joyce? I think, yeah, going on going on three maybe. And but I feel like we're family here. And so when you ask, what do I bring to the app, maybe in my rebranding I'll bring more, where more collaboration, more of that, because we'll see, because I ain't gonna let nobody be, yeah.
Right. And just let
Right,
it
so
happen
yeah.
organically. What's for you, is for you. Just let it happen organically. But you know what? The beautiful thing is all of us were connected through music. Everyone in this room at some point has been connected and brought together through music. So that's also a lovely thing. So we know that we can rely on music at the end of the day to bring us together. Peace and blessings to that. Let's big that up. Because that's a whole nother movement. And I appreciate it. So as we're closing out, I'm hoping I can get a little intermission. If Philo has some type of music to share, we do have an upcoming listening party on July 24th here on Fanbase. Also an exclusive listening party with Philo the Great. We're going to be highlighting his upcoming album. And you'll hear more about that throughout the week, and you'll be seeing more promotions in regards to that. So shout out to Philo the Great. He does have a new album. Big up that. Shout out to Melanated Music Group. That is my new partnership with Melanated Music Group. And I'm excited about that with the promotion. So yeah. All I can say is up from here. So and that's what we're gonna talk about moving forward is what's next? What's next? So hopefully we can get Manus back in here. If anyone else wants to chime in, if anyone has any music to share to close us out, feel free to cue us up because I'm about to hit this in button over here on YouTube. Peace and love, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic.
I just wanted to say, Queen, I wouldn't have had no problem playing music for you, but I'm in the middle of a move, so the stuff is not even hooked up. So
Okay.
someone else can feel free to play music. But I just wanted to let you know that, so you wouldn't think I was trying to not play it. But I love sharing music. But I'm just moving right now.
No, no problem. No problem. I'm always in promo mode. So anyone that wants to promote themselves, you got the mic right now.
Well, I
Playing
would like
music for me is always a hit or miss, so I don't know if I can.
mic check.
I
I
can
think we
hear
both
you.
came off at the same.
Go ahead, Joy.
Can you hear me? No, I was just gonna say if you closing off, I would love, since Sherry mentioned the Be the Change, that was one of my favorite songs that I created. Just because we need to be the change instead of trying to look at what everyone else is doing, telling them what they should do. Just you do it. You do
Do
it,
you
right?
have a YouTube link that you'd like to share to close us out,
I do.
Joyce?
I surely do. I'm pulling it up right now. So if you give me a few seconds, it shouldn't take too long.
Okay.
Um, let me grab it.
Did Manus get his mic back? Manus, did you want to wrap up?
My mic is fine. I'm right here.
Yes, we can
Well, we
hear
can hear
Issue
you
you.
for
now.
Yes, we
the
can
issue
hear you
for
now.
for me, the issue for me is one thing: a memorandum of understanding. We would not be able to move forward till we get an understanding. What the mission? What is the mission? Thank you.
So we will definitely add that into our next topic. The next question will be, what is the mission? Big up to that. Big up to the Melanin Power Conversations. Shout out to Rejoice, Manis, Philo, Alvina, Black Casper, and Sherry.
Well, thank you for having me, Queen. This has been nice. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I think everybody in the room is an amazing person. Black Casper saw you at karaoke one Friday. Thank you for hanging out with us. It usually is not that hectic, so thank you for staying anyway.
Yeah, I received that. And Queen, I sent it to you in an email because I'm not sure what you can do from your end. If you want me to try and send it in your inbox, I can do that too. But I did send it,
Yes, you
you
can
all.
put it in the chat. I have a chat. Mhm.
I don't.
Oh my God. I can't flip screen. Sorry, Joyce. I can go in the chat and I
Yeah,
can
I
Oh,
do
don't
it
have a
right
chat.
so
now.
you can't go to your email. Okay,
Mm-mm.
got you.
Nope, not while I'm
Or
live.
your inbox either.
I can go
Or
to
your
my
inbox either.
chat right here in the chat.
Oh,
So if somebody
that's it.
has
Okay.
something you'd like to drop in the chat to play up top, you could drop it in the chat.
I don't have a chat. I'm an Android.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I've been listening and taking care of stuff while I'm out here. I heard some parts of the conversation. I mean, Queens of Black, you pretty much know exactly what I do, what type of industry I'm in. You know, I'll try to find individuals, serious people, because people be talking, they talk, and don't walk the walk. I don't need the people that talk the talk. I need people that's serious about getting into this industry, being independent on yourself, investing into yourself, invest your money into other things and to inspire others, buying land and doing other things that you have to do to inspire not just yourself but others too. So I've been on stereo through the years, 6 years. People ain't no serious. They not serious about getting into this type of industry. You know, being a planner, being a dispatcher, recruiter, a mechanic, even invest your money into buying trucks like myself. You know, I spent last 6 years buying trucks since 2020, since all this pandemic stuff. I've been driving since 2007. I'm at one more year, I'll be done driving. So I kind of like to talk individually to that person to make sure that they see where their mind is at first, to see if they serious about getting into this type of industry, to be independent, not depend on the society,
And
the government,
I sent it to you.
Welcome to
be
Memoirs
independent for
Podcast,
yourself,
You're
where
new on the
stories
app.
are
to
told to
invest in
create
yourself. I
lasting
love kids.
memories in
Most
this
people I
digital
talk to got
space that we
kids.
live
I don't
in.
have kids,
It's
so
time to be creative and
but I can
explore the
focus on most
opportunities
people.
you have to
They
enhance.
need that motivation. You know, I'm a motivational person. You know, somebody motivated me through the years, so I just kind
And
of pass that on to
I
others
sent it to
that's
you.
Welcome to
serious
Somebody
Memoirs
on
that
Podcast,
follow.
getting into
You're
this
where
new
type
on
of
the
stories
app.
are
industry.
told to create
I follow
lasting
the
People I
app.
memories
talk to
in
through
this
the years,
digital
I met
space that we
thousands of
live in.
people through
It's time.
all over the world since I've been driving, and some people did. I inspired a lot of people that's in this industry, but some of those other people that's not serious about getting into it. So if you're serious about getting into this industry, just make sure you hit me up and we can have a one-on-one conversation on either